Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony has 9 fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guest?
Sure. From the movie X's and O's, which is now streaming on Screamify. Go check it out. We have writer and director Trent Duncan on.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure. So we both checked out the movie on Screamify. I had heard of Screamify through Tony before, but I signed up for it just so I could watch this movie. And it's a pretty great platform, so it's pretty awesome that they're doing that. And if I don't know if Screamify is available like worldwide.
I believe it is.
Okay, because we do have some listeners in other countries. So yeah, go check it out. It's only $2.99 a month, and you get to see awesome movies like X's and O's. And I was peeking around at some other stuff, and so the only thing I wish it had is a queue. I wish you could save like what you wanted to watch. I have to go through it every time, but
I'll talk to Sean and see that, get that change.
First world problems, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. But so yeah, X's and O's. You want to tell us a little bit about the plot, or tell our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me on. X's and O's, my first feature film that I wrote and directed myself here. It follows 4 gals, Galentine's weekend, so it has a Valentine's Day theme. They kind of get away because one of the girls has a little bit of a heartbreak. Try to have some fun, but they're stalked by a legendary axe murderer called Luther Gemmell, who comes out every Valentine's Day to, slaughter females, helpless females. And then, but the tables turn when one of the girls turns into a little something otherworldly. She's got like a demonic kind of a thing to it, and they battle it out in the end. So not a huge spoiler alert, but they kind of fight each other. And that's basically it. That's your slasher with a little bit of a twist to it. Is what I was going for.
Yeah, a little bit of like almost like sci-fi fantasy kind of. I don't know how you or monster like creature,
a little bit of a creature feature. Yeah, I wanted to do something different. Basically. Yeah. So I try to keep a lot of the same old tropes that you see with a lot of slashers, a lot of horror films, and then just bring something new in because, we'll chat about it later, but my channel on YouTube, Epic Horror Battles, I have all your old school favorite horror characters battled out to the death in epic horror fashion. So that's got about 270,000 subscribers, like 80 million views. So it's basically Freddy versus Jason versus Michael Myers versus all them. They fight each other. And so I wanted to do something at the end of this where 2 big bad guys kind of fight each other, and that's where it came from.
Nice. Tony?
Yeah, I was going to say that, you don't see it often where it's just like, especially when it's, a bunch of girls, it's like, oh, you have the final girl. This one kind of takes it and kind of throws it in like a different direction because it's like, oh, okay. It starts like building up to it, and I'm like, okay, where's this going? And then at the end, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then it's just like you said, it's something you don't see. It has some of the tropes of movies, but it adds to it. So that's why I definitely appreciate it. As I was watching, I'm like, okay, that's where it's going. Okay,
cool. And I tried to have some fun with it, and it doesn't really take itself too seriously because even in there, I make a couple of jokes where she's like, "Hey, we're having a Galentine's weekend." And I'm like, "Oh wow, Galentine's weekend!" Or when the detective scene, they're trying to find out who the killer is, and the guy's like, well, so he hides out all year long and he comes out only on Valentine's Day to kill people. Like, come on, that's a stretch. Like, so
yeah,
I get it. Like, but you still have to follow this template of the successful slashers where you have your pretty females, a nice little theme that goes on. But I also tried to flip it upside down a little bit because people have seen that 100 times. They've seen that and they get, oh, okay, the final girl. But here you don't really know who the final girl is. And even when you might think you do, the tables turn a little bit. And then I just wanted to do something cool at the end and have a really cool fight scene as opposed to like, oh, she outsmarts the bad guy and she wins or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully
there's other twists too towards the end that just like, well, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Like, so it's that's good.
I mean, we can do spoilers on here. I'm okay with you spoilers and you want to talk about it.
Well, no, I mean, the fact that, she's with it seems like someone who was like almost like a mother figure to her. And then
right?
Things don't go the way you'd think they would go.
No, and so like, hey, we're on people joining it, coming here to hear about some of the behind the scenes stuff like that. So that at the end of the movie there, I brought Cass and I brought Madison in, and that's Olivia and Leah. I was like, okay, look, we can go a couple different ways here. Like we can have it where you guys hug and make up, and we can have it where you kill her, or we can have it where you kill her. So there's like 3 different ways to go. What are you guys gonna do? For me, it's the end. Like everybody's already seen the fight battle. Everything's cool. There's not much left. How do we want to go? Do we live happily ever after, or do we just go with a little bit of a darker one? And they picked the one where, hey, she kills her older sister, or her older cousin. That's been kind of like a motherly figure, like you said, and looked after her. And it's like, God, that's dumb. Man, that sucks. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but I wasn't expecting it, and I'm glad you didn't go the let's hug it out.
Yeah, the old fashioned
route. You didn't go that route because it's like, that's something people potentially would complain about. It's like, oh, yeah, you wussed out on that, but you didn't.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, I'm not saying that there's like a lot for anyone to complain about, but it's one of those things where like some horror fans are.
There's always someone who wants their own way to do it. I mean, we're all guilty of it. You watch a movie and you're like, I would have did that different. I would have did it like this. I would have did it like that. So no matter what you do, you're either you'll have naysayers and you'll have the people that love it. So.
But that being said, I generally did like the movie a lot.
Okay, good.
And it looks great. It's acted well. It's a cool story. Like it has little twists and stuff like that. So yeah.
And you like the one thing we always say, as long as you have like a meaning towards the characters, like there's a few that I was like, oh, okay, I didn't care if you kind of went like one of the scenes where one of the friends kind of followed suit. And then it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you deserve to.
Yeah. You're not a good friend.
The floozy one that she gets killed off. Yeah, I mean, talking about tropes, oh, we have sex in the woods, and then all of a sudden I get killed. That's one of the oldest ones in the book. So I had to put that in there. Hopefully, you enjoyed the sex scene and the death of the guy and how it kind of came about. You know what I mean? I tried to do something where it wasn't too just like awkward, like, oh, they're kind of like, banging it out and, stupid. So I tried to make it fun and enjoyable and just a little campy, to lighten it up, to make just a sex scene in the woods more than just that. It's just something else. So I think I did a good job stepping back and looking at it from a different perspective and trying to bring everything together. And just, as you said before, like, you're not going to satisfy everybody, and that's cool. I don't mind. I've gotten so many, bad comments here and there on my YouTube videos left and right. I don't mind. I think it's kind of enjoyable, because if people are complaining, then actually if they are complaining, then you kind of made it to a certain level, because other than that, it's just your mom telling you how good your movie is,
Right. So, if they're complaining, that means that they still watched it. They still watched it, like if they're complaining, then they still watched it, and and it got to the point where they're like, I need to comment about that.
Yeah. Like, thanks for the algorithm bump,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We said it many a times too. As long as there's substance to it, sometimes it's just like, oh, I hated it, and it's just like, can you, why?
Fine.
Oh, I hated it. But then you get other people that are like, oh, okay, this is why I didn't like it as much. So those are the comments that you can get by. There's other ones
more
where it's
constructive
just like,
criticism is what needs to be.
And that's fine. I don't mind. And like we had our budget wasn't that big, and as well as I do making movies, that you can solve a lot of problems with money. And I'll tell you the first thing, like, we did have there's some plot holes, and there's some little elements here and there that don't tie it all together perfectly. But I will say we did the best we could with what we had. And we even, the script that I wrote initially was totally different than what was on screen because I had to, being a low budget project, I had to adjust logistics and move things around and change scenes just based on the fact that, hey, we don't have the money to do that. Or, hey, we're spread too thin. Let's shoot these here and like compress some scenes and write things together. So it was an ever changing process. And so it's not always the movie that you envision, but it's the movie that you get done. And that's kind of where what happened with this one. But even after we shot it, we edited it. We're like, this isn't working. And then we went back and we shot more scenes, like so all the detective stuff where they're in the detective office. Like we need a B plot. We need like more of a B plot. And we shot the stuff about the backstory of Luther, a little of the backstory. And then we shot about who is like Luther's mom. I won't give too much away, I guess, spoiler alert. But that was not in the original script. And so we're like, oh, we'll make her the mother. And this is why she's doing it, to get back at all these people to help him murder the folks, yada, 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 yada. So, we worked it as it went, and we put out, I think, what the best thing we could given all the circumstances.
Yeah, that's the one thing that most people don't realize, especially with like indie films, how much goes into it and how much could change and how much, how many horror stories did you heard? We only had this many days to shoot it, and then it rained one day, so then that day's gone. And then this happened. So
it rained our first day on set. Our first day. But see, the good thing was we had a lot of just like, so we did some drone shots that day, and the girls were in the Jeep. So they were in the Jeep for like 6 hours, parked, waiting, but then also driving, doing some drone shots. And that's how we planned it. We planned it the first day fairly light for stuff like that, because we wanted them to kind of bond together. At least I wanted them to kind of bond together. And I really think that shows on camera. That's one of the things I'm proud about, is how well the girls came together and how well they acted in the movie, and just kind of put it all out there. Because I was, halfway through, I'm watching, I'm like, because I do all the technical stuff and you watch the movie so many times, and I'm watching and it clicked one day. I'm like, damn, these girls are good. Like they are like in it. Like they did such a good job. Like, wow. So I was really proud about that. They did great.
Yeah. We say where it on screen, you can tell if it works or it doesn't. Because we've had people on where it's like, oh yeah, we met, a couple hours before it's shooting, and it's like we couldn't tell. Then you have other people that are like, yeah, we known each other, but it doesn't mesh, and it's like, okay, I don't believe you guys have been friends for 10 years. It seems like you pick someone up off the road and you're like new. So with that, you definitely could tell, like,
cool.
They were friends or cousins or whatever. It's like, okay, they were meant to be like that. So,
I mean, that's part of the secret sauce too, is women, girls, in general, just have more of a bonding mechanism, and them together, because we all stayed in this cabin too. We all stayed in the place we shot at. So we're all sleeping there. So at night they would hang out and play games and stuff like that. Cause Cass was in from California. Jamie was in from California. And then even Madison was staying there. And then Dawn, she stayed there. And so they were all together that first week. And so just females in general definitely do a lot better with bonding and just kind of putting the fun out there, I guess you could say, and making it an enjoyable time. And so that was one of the things I kind of looked forward to and enjoyed when I was on set, was working with all them and just kind of the energy they brought.
Now, when it comes to casting, because I thought the casting was great, was it just regular casting call, or were there people that were in the movie that you kind of like, you have worked with in the past and you're like, all right, this part's for you? Good
question. Yeah. A little bit of both, actually. So we put out Actors Access, like backstage. We did that for our main 5 roles. So the 4 females and then our axe murderer. Okay. And we were hoping to hire like locally from Atlanta or somebody from Atlanta, but Jamie actually hit us up, and she had actually separated from her current agent at the time. So she personally emailed us. And so I get to correspond with her back and forth about that. And then Cass, when I saw her audition, she's from California. This is the Leah character. I just immediately knew like that was Cass, like the motherly, take charge kind of person. It came across so well on her audition. That was like, it was a solid sell. It was hard for me to go with anybody else. And then of course the Olivia character, we cast some folks for that, but we didn't really feel it. And then Madison, I had known Madison for a while. I've done other stuff with Madison, and she's really good, and she's not very well known, but I put it out there for anybody else to kind of jump on that role. And she submitted a casting call. So there's no favoritism in that regard. And she killed it. She really plays the very like homely, she's cute kind of look, but she's not as like beautiful as like these other girls that are all like, oh, final girl glamorous. So she really has that subtleness about her that fit that character really well. And she did a fantastic job. And of course, Dawn, the Sarah, that was Cass's friend. And I didn't really have a fit for her from a lot of the casting. And so Cass was like, hey, I know this gal I worked with on this other film. She's not too far, she's, on the East Coast here. And so, and she did a fantastic job. Not my exact type out for that character of Dawn, but she was still very open to doing what, the scene was, especially the sex scene. And not a lot of people were open to do that. So the casting for that one was a little bit smaller. But I was upfront with them and say, hey, look, I'm not trying to get up boobies and tits and stuff like that. It'll be classy. I'm just trying to make it a little campy, a little fun, because you have to have a sex scene and then you have to die. Like, this is a horror slasher we're doing here. And then to finish the question, so those were like the main characters. Brandon, the axe murderer, I tried to cast and look around for Atlanta and a couple guys, but we kind of lucked out in this guy, Brandon Crum. He is local to like Tampa area. And he fit it perfectly, which was great because we didn't have a ton of money to bring somebody and fly somebody else in at this point because I already cast the other role. So he was the last of the main ones that we were looking for. And then folks like Sheriff Preston, I had known Cheyenne for 2 decades. And so he's the police officer, sheriff. Cheyenne plays like Jason and Michael Myers and all my other horror movies and stuff like that, the Punisher and stuff. So I wanted to put him in there. And so a lot of the day players like him and then the Margot character, and Caroline, the mom / the renter lady, those are all local day players from the Orlando area that we cast in that. So the big ones came from all over, and then a lot of the smaller day players we cast locally in that regard. So it was kind of a mix of all those, and they all came together well. It was good. I was proud of all of them. They knocked it out, really.
And that kind of answers another. I was going to ask where the location was because it was beautiful.
Ocala, dude, I looked so much for the house. Do you know how hard it is to find like the perfect location? So you think it's easy, right? When you're like, yeah, I just need a cabin in the woods, right? Okay, that sounds easy, but logistically, there's great cabins in the woods far away, okay? But if I go 2 hours north by like Gainesville and stuff like that, where's my crew going to stay? They're not going to drive 2 hours. So I'd have to get another cabin close to that for them to stay at. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, but if I find something close to Orlando where they can just commute to, that saves me a lot of money. But it's a cabin in the woods. Like, what's Orlando? Like, what's going on? So, dude, I looked so long in so many places. And we finally found this spot, like, Ocoee, which was a gold mine. Like, the house itself is very nice. It's not exactly what I pictured on the outside. But nonetheless, it was on a piece of property next to a lake. And it had this woods next to it, which had all these trails in it. So all the stuff you see of them walking on the trails was like right there at the cabin. Because otherwise I would have had to find another place to like shoot on a trail and stuff. And so it's really hard just looking to all these scenes in my mind. And that's why logistically I adjusted some stuff that I had planned to shoot elsewhere. I'm like, let's just bring it back to the cabin here. So all that stuff in the driveway, which is a little kind of like, okay, the renter's there, the sheriff shows up. Like the lady Margot shows up, like who ordered the fucking welcome caravan? Like Jamie said, it's a little much, but those were 3 different scenes in 3 different places. And I'm like, look, man, we're already a low budget film. I don't want to go driving someplace else and logistically have to deal with bathrooms, food, water stuff. Let's just shoot it all right here, and I'll make it work. And so we just shot it all in the driveway all one day, and yeah, that's what you do. But it was a great location, so it offered a lot of logistical support, and it solved a lot of problems logistically, I guess you could say, from a filmmaker standpoint.
Nice. So you not only had the writing and directing hat, you had sounds like many other hats.
Mm-hmm. I've been making films from scratch for quite a while now. So yes, I did a ton of location managing, props, wardrobe, a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah. It all kind of fell on top of this guy here. I hired some folks for definitely when the production time came, especially a DP, because I usually like to shoot my stuff too, because I love cinematography. But I needed somebody to take that off my shoulders, and Daniel did a great job. Cinematically, he captured a lot of good shots for us, and he gave me the ability to kind of just focus on some other problem-solving things that director producers do.
So, as you can tell, like by looking at Tony's background, he's a big fan of physical media.
Yeah. DVDs, Blu-rays are coming, man. Don't worry. Don't worry, I got you.
Nice.
That's what I was going to ask, if there's going to be a physical release or if
Oh,
they're
I'll send you guys one. There's our poster. Yeah, I'm actually getting the DVDs and the Blu-ray covers made as we speak, and I got to find somebody to burn some stuff. So I'm a little behind on that. I will say that. A little behind on that. But I will absolutely. I'll send you guys one, a little poster, all that kind of fun stuff. Maybe I'll get magnets made. I don't know, something.
Because especially nowadays with Netflix buying up Warner Brothers, now it seems like all these streaming services might follow suit, and physical media might be we knew it was going to dwindle down at some point, but now it seems like it's going to be on a hot shot now, where everything is streaming and everything can be changed and everything could be, it's scary to think.
There's no real evidence, right? There's no like evidence of, so I might even get VHSs made of this one, because I recently got a VHS TV for my little one. She's 2 years old. My mom had it, and my mom got it from her school when they just ditched all that equipment. And so I have a bunch of old movies. So she'll watch Nightmare Before Christmas, or a couple Wizard of Oz, on VHS. So she watches the VHS thing, which it's kind of great because, it's not just like, it's, hey, take this media out, put it in there. And like, nobody can change that. So they can't go back and upload a new version later and say, oh, it wasn't like this before. Trust us. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
No. So, yep.
But that's the thing. VHS is definitely, it's a smaller run, but it's definitely coming back. There's a lot of VHS collectors and a lot of the newer movies. I mean, Terrifier came out on VHS.
Did it? That's good.
Pieces of Talent is a movie that it's been a couple years now, but that movie was put out on VHS. So there's a whole collecting community, but then there's like subsets of each where it's like people just collect VHS. So it's probably be a smart thing to do, even if it's like a limited run or something.
Sure, I'll get a VHS made. I'll get a bunch made.
Yeah, it's like it's more boutique-y now.
It is, and whether people actually watch it, they probably don't. They just have the box on their shelf, like some people probably.
I have like albums like framed on my wall back here, and I don't have a record player.
Yeah, same. The records came back hard, so vinyl came back real hard. But I think that's easier than VHS because it's just the sound and it's just the device and it's nostalgic too. VHS is nostalgic, but it's toughly a little harder to watch than it is the crisp, clear HD version.
Yeah, but it brings you back.
It does.
Yeah, I've even watched like some YouTube channels where it's just like 2 hours of just old commercials from my youth.
From our childhood. Yeah, those are the best, man. Those are great. They still have the lines.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never really came out like with a line. Someone just comes out with, here's your old commercials from 19 whatever, old
like
cereal commercials
on DVD or Blu-ray. You mean?
Yeah, like just put out something like that.
Do it, Tony.
Well, I'd have to find half this stuff.
Well,
it's all on YouTube, man.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, rip it from there, and call it a day.
So you said this was your first full length. Were you doing like shorts beforehand? But then you also said you have your YouTube page. But like, what got you in? What got you into actually filming stuff and putting stuff out there?
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, for sure. Boy, what got me into it? That's a loaded, long story question. I don't know we got time for that one. But just how most folks my age, in my position, when you're a kid, you start playing. I had a VHS camcorder when I was a kid, and like literally. Just like many other folks my age, my mom would kick us out of the house in the summertime, and we would take the camcorder and we would record stuff like Terminator Junior, and I will say this, like, this is pretty venomous. So you guys remember T2, when came out, the liquid metal guy, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was probably 81. So I was probably 10, 12, 13-ish, 14 when that came out or played on TV. And so we would play the Terminator Juniors and then like the liquid metal guy. And we would get this aluminum foil. You get aluminum foil and you'd shape it like the shots, right? And so we do like this over the shoulder shot. And then the person would run and they would shoot at me, go boom, boom, boom. And I would turn to camera and I would have the aluminum foil looks like bullet shots on you, And so it's like, oh, we're the liquid metal guy,
That's awesome.
So we thought that was kind of creative. But
No,
yeah,
definitely.
we still got some of those old Spice skits we did with just the camcorder, and they're all horrible. But yeah, that, and then I went to the military. I got a camera, I started documenting stuff in the military. Some of the stuff was on the Discovery Channel, and then my war diaries. I was in the Navy, did 3 deployments overseas, Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. And so I just documented some stuff, made some fun, had some fun. And then when I got out in 2009, 2010, I just did a lot of independent stuff, a lot of promotional stuff, commercials, and just started playing with cameras and having fun, and started filming the fan films. That's really what got me into more structured short films, is because my buddy Cheyenne, like I mentioned earlier, who's the sheriff, he had this Jason costume. He'd go to these conventions and he loved the horror stuff. And he did a fan film with somebody, and it was really bad. I'm like, dude, I can do a fan film. That's great. Because I was like, what are people going to watch? Like, I need people to watch my YouTube channel. This is 2011, and check out my stuff. So what's going to get them to watch it? Oh, cool. People are searching for Jason Voorhees and stuff. So I had Jason vs. Leatherface was the first horror fan film that I did, and it got 1 million views in like a year. Not like crazy fast, but still pretty decent. And so from there, just started doing these fun little fan films. Gave me the chance to be creative, gave me the chance to practice a lot of fight choreography, fight scenes, and a lot of editing fight stuff up. And so that's where I really got my niche in editing, and really just like cutting stuff down to what it needs to be, the nit and gritty, the bare bones. Because a lot of filmmakers, and I think a lot of indie filmmakers, a lot of these films you see, the films aren't bad. A lot of these B movie films are not bad if somebody would just cut out the fat, like just trim it up so it moves faster and the pacing is better. That's kind of one of my gripes with a lot of indie films. And yeah, it's been a fun process and a fun wave ever since. And this is the first big feature I did, and just like anybody else, where do you get money for a feature film? That's where we finally accumulated a little bit of cash, and my buddy Joe was the co-producer on it, and he had helped invested in half of it as well too. So we're in the process of maybe making the money back. Let's see what we can do,
Yeah. And how is, I mean, it's kind of a loaded question, but how is working with Screamify? Like, is it like, did you look at other options and to see like who had the best deals out there? Or?
So this is my first time doing distribution. Do you guys know anything about the distribution realm?
Well,
we've heard horror stories.
Yeah.
We don't know like 100%, but we've heard stuff.
So then that's what I'm going off of, what I've heard and everything. And so you keep running these people that get screwed. And so I just, and really the only deals out there are you give your movie over to them, you get a sales agent that's going to take 5%. Okay. And then you give your movie over to a distributor, or he goes out and gets offers. He'll put like 5 offers on the table, like which one you like best, and they're all kind of the same or whatever. And you do your research, like, well, I'll pick this one, and they have your movie for 6, 8, 10 years, and usually there's no MG, like a minimum guarantee. So it's just like, hey, whatever the distributor makes, we'll give, and then they take 25% ish, and so after their expenses, whatever money that comes in from there, you get their cut off, and then you finally get your money back. So, and you just never know, and you're handing your movie over for nothing most of the time, and they got it for 8 years. So it's like, maybe and what do? They probably just go to Film Hub and they just put it on Amazon and Apple and all these other channels. And so I'm like, well, I can do that. I don't need a distributor to do that. Sometimes they'll package it up, go overseas, but I mean, you can also do your own distribution for these overseas territories as well too. Like, just call the territories. They're all on, like, somebody told me, like, one of my friends, a producer friends, is like, look, go look at Terrifier page, go look at the territories that rep them, and just call it the territories. You don't need a salesperson to go do that. So, but that's like after down the line. So for X's and O's, I was just like, well, I want to be the one behind the wheel. And so we did go with Film Hub, and we're looking at Film Hub to push it out on channels like Tubi, Amazon, and Apple. And hopefully we can, do a big enough push in that sea of stuff to make a revenue back, because it's not this huge, big blockbuster film. Like, I know it's not like a mainstream, fantastic, major horror film, but it is what it is. And so if we swim in the same kind of, I think it's a little better than a lot of the the average films you'll see on some of these platforms that are coming out, a lot of these indie films. So I feel good about our chances, but it's kind of like, all right, well, this is my decision. I'm going to live or die by what I do, as opposed to live or die by what some other company does and makes their decisions, and I don't get to call them and talk to them or they have any input in it whatsoever, unless they're going to give me tons of money and then just take it for 10 years,
Yeah, how many times too have we seen it go to a different company, the name gets changed, scenes get cut, and then it's like, well, this is not what I originally put out there, and they could do whatever they want to, and that's other horror stories where it's like, yeah, this is what, that's why you have like director's cut and stuff where it's like, this is what the way it's supposed to be seen. This is the way that it was seen, and it's just like, oh, completely, maybe not 100% different, but good enough where it's just like, this wasn't what we've heard that many a times too, where it's just like, this wasn't my thing, but sometimes you gotta go with what you want, especially if you want it out there. You try, you see, and that's what happens. So, but
one of the biggest things too is if we went through the distribution process, it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So I would be missing the Valentine's season that's coming up here, and we shot it in 2023, so it's already been a little while. And I was like, look, I can't miss the Valentine's season, so I'm willing to put it out early with on some of these pretty cheap free platforms to hopefully get some momentum and build it up, and then we can hit it again come Halloween time. But in Halloween time, there's so many other horror films, like you're just compete. But how many Valentine's horror films are there? There's a handful I can think off the top of my head.
4 that I know, 3.
My Bloody Valentine, Valentine's Day, that one with the
Valentine. That's pretty
right.
Much, yeah,
so, and I'll get to that here in a minute too, with some of the marketing aspects. But yeah, so that's our hope. So going back a little bit to the original question, Screamify has been fantastic. We met Sean at a film festival. Sean's the owner. And we kind of hit it off. He loves the movie, and he's been wanting to get it on there. And so we made a little deal with him, exclusive deal, so he can push it for the holidays, on especially Christmas time. And then he'll have it for Valentine's as well, too, for February. Hopefully we'll be able to get it on like Tubi and Amazon and Apple for February. So that's really what I'm hoping to get, and get a big push out of that. And then we'll kind of see where it goes from there, We have a whole other movie, Valentine's Lake. We'll get into that here a little later, but it's kind of the same movie, but different. All right. So I actually shot 2 movies at once. Both 80% of the scenes and stuff are the same, but it's a different theme movie. So we'll roll into that here in a little bit. But yeah, so it's, you never know. And I'd rather, like, if it falls flat on its face, I'd rather be my fault than because I gave it to a film company and who knows what they did with it. And it's just like, there's no real, like, there's no win. It's just gotta pick a direction and push forward.
Yeah. So I do want to play the trailer. Usually Sergio asks for the trailer. He hasn't asked, but I'm going to play it anyways.
What's up, man?
Come on, dude. All right. But anyways, here's the trailer for Axes and O's, which is streaming now on Screamify. And it's exclusive. It's featured. When you go onto the thing, it's featured at the very top.
3 movies are featured there, huh?
That's right. Anyways, yeah, here's the trailer. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Done! Shake that ass! Hey, my Valentine! Is this the Galentine's weekend at Valentine's the Lake? Pina coladas for everyone. This is what's called a floater.
It is Valentine's weekend. You know what that means.
No!
2 hikers dead.
The Axeman is coming back.
Girl was missing her heart.
Kind of fits the theme, doesn't it? The theme still sucks.
I get so lonesome without you. Oh, like you wouldn't believe.
Abby, run! Yeah, come on, go, go, go.
I've been waiting for you.
Well, I hope you girls enjoy your Valentine's Day weekend.
My friend, she needs help.
Yeah, we can help you.
Grab.
Exhausted already.
Happy V-Day.
There you go. There's
Such
the
a
trailer.
fun trailer, man. I love watching that thing. I've seen it 1,000 times, but I love it, man. I feel like I did a great job cutting it together.
Oh yeah. No, it's a good trailer. It sells the movie appropriately. It's not making you think it's something that it's not. You know.
Yeah, I'm a full believer in just putting it all kind of out there. Don't like hide anything, like the twist at the end when, the Olivia's this creature and she fights him. Like it's there in the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't want to hide it because, it's not a $10 million production. So people just aren't going to go see it because, it's a Trent Duncan film. I need to catch them. I need a hook. So,
yeah.
And that's the thing too. Usually I try not to watch trailers because 95% of the time they're putting scenes that aren't even in the movie. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that scene. And I watch the movie. I'm like, what the hell is that scene?
Sometimes I watch movies and like if the movie's not really pulling me in, I'm just sitting there and I'm like waiting for the scenes that I saw in the trailer that are cataloged in my brain. It's like, oh, there it is. Bing.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Bing.
Yeah.
Then there's also the like, I don't know if it's like something with like some newer, like even bigger budget movies where they're giving the trailer seems like it's 5 minutes long.
Yep.
And it gives out like so much. It's giving away like a ton.
Well, basically the whole story, like it's everything.
Yeah.
And then that's my trailer's kind of, it hits the action points, but when I first cut it together, I got feedback. I sent it out to the actors, and Cass was really good. She sent me a lot of feedback because she brought it to some of her, Hollywood friends and stuff like that. So she said, "Oh yeah, we should make it like more like The Strangers and stuff like that." And so I watched some of these big Hollywood film trailers, and they're just so boring, man. Like they start off slow, and then they just tell a story, and they're just so slow. I'm like, look, my film, first of all, it's not slow. And it's more of a fast-paced film, and I wanted to show that in the trailer because, first of all, like I'm a YouTuber, like you cut stuff up, you're looking at people with the attention span of like nothing, right? People on YouTube. So I needed a trailer, and one of the comments was like, "Oh, the trailer is very YouTube-ish," I'm like, well, okay, that's the generation we're going to, because those are people that I get comments on my videos from, like icons of horror that I put out in 2013. And then like 10 years later, like, oh, I watched this when I was 8 years old. So nostalgic and cool. Like they're 20 something now.
Yeah.
So like this generation is people that are going that just want stuff hit hard, fast, give it to me. And also too, like it's kind of a lowbrow horror in a sense where like, look, it's a slasher. Like, what do you want to know about it? Who cares about the poor Olivia and her little heartbreak? And then they get together and they go to Valentine's and her little pills. And like, who cares? Like, give me the sex. Okay. The blood. Give me the action, okay? Quit all that other shit in between. Push it aside. All right, I just want sex, blood, action. It's gonna be my next movie: sex, blood, action.
Well, you heard it here, folks.
I'm gonna write that down. Sex,
you
blood.
heard, but it's one of those things where it's like, there has to be some substance, and like I said, with the characters, there was enough where it's like, okay, I care if you either die or you don't. Sometimes you watch movies and you're just like, oh, okay, that person died.
So, I appreciate that because I really did a lot developing each of the character and giving them their own sense. I really went into detail with who they were. Like Cass was like the leader, the motherly girl. Olivia, she was the very homely, shy one. And that's a little bit of a trope. Each of these are a little bit of a trope too, the homely, shy one that comes out of her shell at the end. Dawn is the floozy, kind of fun, liberal party girl that, everybody kind of wants to be around, but she F's up and makes stupid decisions, but she's still like the life of the party. And of course, Jamie's kind of like the Michelle Rodriguez, kind of the badass kind of the group and stuff like that. So I wanted each of these four personalities to kind of shine through. And so when I was writing the script, I'm like, okay, this scene, what comes through is like, we're not getting enough Dawn. Like we need people care about Dawn just a little bit before she gets axed. So we need to have people kind of like her a little bit. And then like Olivia, like, okay, she's kind of like the whole movie, but maybe she like lays in the background and then all of a sudden it comes out like, oh, cool. And of course, Jamie and then the other one. So I spent a lot of time working those characters and I felt like I did a great job casting the right people to bring them alive. And And yeah, that's one of the things I'm most proud of, because that's another gripe I have about a lot of indie horror films is like, you don't care about the characters, or their lines are stupid. Like I went through the lines over and over again, and I even hired extra people, young females, to read the lines and give me feedback, because I'm not a 20-something female. So, so I needed other people to look at it, like, would you say it like this? Like, would you say it like this? Or how would you say it? Would you say panties, or would you say underwear? Wrinkly panties or wrinkly underwear? Like, what would you do? So, anyways, I felt like I did a pretty decent job given what we had. So
Yeah.
Did the actresses have like not free range, but did they have some like ad libs to themselves where it's like maybe I would say this kind of this way or whatever? Or
yeah, no, I'm perfect. I love encouraging actors to bring their own character in, just not on the day, but beforehand. Like, hey, read the script and let me know. Like, let me know if Abby would say it like that. Let me know if Dawn would say it like that. Okay. And then we change it. And if they, give a suggestion, like, look, I can't do that because later on it refers to this. Sorry. But, I totally encourage, the actors I work with to kind of bring to life what they think the character would embody and kind of say, because again, I'm not a 23-year-old female, so if you want to bring it out this way, then I would love for you to do that. Please help me, help the movie. It helps us all. It's great.
So you said that there's the other movie that you filmed at the same time. What's the
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that. So I'll back up a little bit. When putting this movie together, I've done a lot of stuff. I got a business marketing degree, and I did film theory and all this master stuff. The military was great. I paid for a lot of my college. And so I looked at a lot of ways to how can you make this film successful on the back end, not just like, hey, let me make a cool film with flimsy girls in it that get all beat up. Okay. Valentine's theme. I brought in a pretty good name star in Jamie. She was, kind of a star. The horror aspect of it. And then the other thing was the 2 feature production. So we made 2 feature films from this one. Okay. And the idea came from Joe, and I was writing the script. It's, a slasher script, Cabin by the Lake kind of a thing. And Joe's like, oh, it'd be really cool is if we had like this lake monster and the girls were like eaten by the lake monster. And it's like, that sounds really cool, but we're writing the script and I'm not changing it. And then so I was thinking about it. I'm like, why don't we do both scripts? Because basically the action and stuff is still the same. They still go on a Valentine's weekend. They still get hunted down by this guy. And at the end, they get captured and sacrificed to this lake monster. It's like a Lovecraftian Cthulhu kind of a thing, creature feature. And so I was like, let's do it. So I wrote two movies in one. So how it works is 80% of the footage is pretty much the same, where the girls has the heartbreak. They go on a Valentine's weekend. This instead of an Axeman, Luther Dremel being this big killer axe murderer, he's kind of like the right hand guy that kidnaps these girls. So the way we shot it, instead of him like killing the girl, he would like put a bag over their head and like kidnap them. All right, excuse me. And so the B plot's a little different. We shot some more B plot where there's a guy that's kind of figuring out what's going on with this company he works for. There's a cult in town that's kidnapping these girls every 3 years. They sacrifice 3 girls to this lake monster Cthulhu type creature. And so at the end, instead of Olivia turning into a creature and fighting the Axeman, they get kidnapped, and then there's this giant sacrifice scene with like this cult by the lake. And do they get sacrificed and eaten by the monster, or do they not? And so the whole cult, like, we have this cult master, the chancellor comes in, and the idea is, we are in charge of this giant underground creature, and we have to sacrifice the few to save the many. Otherwise, this creature would rise up and just eat everything on Earth. That plus all the other sister creatures around the Earth. So I created this whole little backstory for it, this whole cult. So it's more of a creature feature. We are getting the CGI work done and the music scored right now. So my idea is, hey, the marketing wise was like, this is marketed more towards filmmakers than it is towards, horror fans. Is look what we did. We shot 2 movies with one budget, one script at one time. And we got 2 different movies out of it. So now when you go put it out there for distribution, it only costs another like 10, 15K for the second movie because you're using a lot of this footage. So now you have twice the chance to pull the money in and make the money back. And you have 2 feature films, like literally 2 feature films. So I don't know, hopefully hopefully it'll sell well, or at least that idea or that concept.
Yeah, never really
We'll see.
heard of that. It's almost like kind of has that Goosebumps choose your own adventure type deal where it's like read this page and this will happen. Read this page and this will happen. So it's almost like
It's kind of like
separate two separate timelines kind of deal
that.
where
Yep,
it's like,
it
oh,
is.
okay, something. I think I've seen this before, but the ending was completely different.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
along those lines.
So my hope is that it'll be a little cult classic-y where people will watch them both like, oh, what scenes are the same? What scenes are different? You know, and I don't know, at the end of the day, we have 2 feature films. Like it's a total separate marketing piece where you're going to make money on, you know? So that's kind of, hopefully that's going to be the big selling point of it. Because there's a lot of films out there that have their little stick, their little catch, their little do whatever, little hat tricks, what I call it, little hat trick. Hey, check out my hat trick. Well, for one example, this movie Cosmos is like, hey, I made a feature film for like $1,000. It took me 6 years, but here's how I did it, you know? And so they have a great marketing webpage, this and that. So that's like the little stick. So this will be my little hat trick marketing shtick. Hopefully I can exploit it enough to where I can make our money back and then some. You know, we'll see. And then maybe somebody wants to come along and throw some money at me to do it again, you know, and you have 2 movies for the price of 1, basically.
Yeah.
It's almost like an alternate ending, but just an extra long alternate ending.
Exactly.
Deal.
It's the different B plot, basically. Because you still get the same girls, still get the same sex appeal, get the same all stuff. It's just a little different B plot right down there.
It's like you hit this part of the road and then it just splits into a different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's, I've never really heard of that before. So
is that out yet, or is that
soon?
Okay.
Hopefully, we're hoping to have it out. So here we go. We'll go back to Screamify. Since I know Sean and he's like, great man, just give me what you need. I love to. I can pop it up like that. I can put it on the platform like that. Which, as you know, no other streaming platform can do that. You can just call up, you know, Prime and like, hey, can I have your stuff? It goes up there pretty quick. Amazon Prime does quick, but you still got to go through Film Hub, Bump, you know, that's it. So we're hoping to have that done for Valentine's Day this year, so we can really do like, hey, X's and O's, hey, Valentine's Lake, check them out on Valentine's Day. Watch these 2 Valentine's horror movies, you know. And so our goal is to get Valentine's Lake on Screamify for the month of February. And then from there, we'll do the whole Film Hub, put it out, see where it goes, and all that kind of fun stuff.
Nice.
It's like a different version of that like Grindhouse thing where they had the 2 movies going on at once, that kind of deal where it's like Planet Terror and what was the other one? Death Proof.
Yeah.
Death Proof, yeah. Those were good.
So it's like, and then if you do put out a Blu-ray, you could put both movies on the same thing, or like a double-sided thing or something, or something different.
I got to figure out what to do because I was going to do a Blu-ray case with a DVD, so a Blu-ray and a DVD inside one case. But I have 2 movies, so now I got to do a case where it's a Blu-ray case, but it's a Blu-ray of this and a Blu-ray of that. So a Blu-ray of Valentine's Lake, Blu-ray X's and O's. So I got like too much marketing stuff to do.
Yeah. So what is next? I mean, are you in production with anything now, or?
Yeah, so cool. Thanks for asking, and I'm sure Sean would love this too. So Screamify, we're working with them. He loved our movie. He put out a press release, so I can easily talk about this one. I'm working to produce a micro horror vertical for his platform. So as you know, you guys familiar with the verticals, the vertical films, micro dramas? Have you heard about those?
No.
They are huge. Well, you probably wouldn't. You're not really like the demographic for it, but they're huge over in like China. And they're basically like soap operas. There's soap operas for people on their phones all the time, and they're shot vertically. You know, they're shot up and down.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so totally different like aspect ratio. You know, no more filming like this. It's like this. So, but what they are, they're like 60 to 90-second little short episodes, and you got so many stranded together to make like an hour-long movie, roughly. Okay, 45 minutes, an hour. So some of these things, like I forget some of the platforms that they're on, but you can watch like this first 6 episodes for free, and then they charge you by episode. You got to buy like coins and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And people
I've seen that before, actually. Now that I'm thinking of it,
people will end up paying like $30, $35, $40 to watch an entire one movie. I'm like, dude, that's 2 theater movies. What are you guys talking about? What's going on? So they're making killing on it. But anyway, so Screamify, he wanted to jump on that, and so I'm producing a vertical for them. It's a horror vertical. It's going to have like 25 episodes. It's called Game Night, we're hoping to have that out in, March time to put on there, and we'll see how it does. So it's not really like the soap opera. It's more just horror action is basically what it is. So a lot of the fun stuff that I've done on my YouTube channel, it's kind of paying off. I just turned the camera this way, and it's basically just hit it hard, 60 to 90 seconds episodes. I don't think he's going to be charging per episode to start out with, unless he switches up his platform and stuff. So as you sign up for Screamify, you can watch all of them. So he'll probably do that, and then depending on the success of that, we'll bust out a few more of those. But they've become pretty popular, and nobody's really done any horror verticals. So he's hoping to be like one of the first to kind of put it out there, and I'm excited to be doing it. I'm putting the script together now, and be casting soon, and shooting soon. It's gonna be fun
because it catches. It's almost like a cliffhanger. It is a cliffhanger. It's like a very short cliffhanger where you're like,
episode, like every 60 seconds, you got to have like a what's gonna happen next, and so they're like, okay, I gotta watch, and then they gotta watch.
It's like Vine all over again, but
exactly.
Yeah.
But the good news is like it's 60 seconds, 90 seconds. So it's like people have that while they're at a traffic light or whether they're on the toilet or whether they're just boom. And then they watch a little bit later and then a little later, as opposed to like, you're going to try and watch like an hour and 20-minute movie in little tiny pieces throughout the next, week. Like, come on. Yeah. So that's the society we live in. That's where everybody goes, short attention spans, hit it hard. It's the TikTok, algorithm brain function. And that's kind of, I don't know, I'm excited to do it. It's going to be fun.
It should be cool, yeah. And I'm glad I signed up for Screamify because then I'll just be able to see it.
And it's a fun app, too. They got a lot of cool stuff on there. It's a lot of B stuff out there you guys will like.
Yeah, I was poking through even like the old school, like, the like all the old black and white, like cheesy movies are on there, too. So, it's a place to watch whatever.
I saw Thomas, a Blu-ray case with 4 holders. There you go, Thomas.
Yeah, that's the 13th Wolfman. He used to be part of the show, and now he's not.
Vertical films are pretty much
not by our choice; it's by his choice.
Webisodes, yeah. I remember I did a couple of webisodes back in the day, like 2011 when I lived in California. 2010, I lived there for a little while. And yeah, webisodes were like really big, but they never caught on because I guess, I don't know, people got tired of them, or the phones came out and just like, nah.
Yeah. But I do have to start wrapping things up because we're almost at the hour. So where can people go to see what's going on with you and your new projects and everything? Where can people follow you?
Cool. So my biggest platform is YouTube. So you can check out just Trent Duncan on YouTube there. And then, TrentDuncan.com or the twofeatureproject.com. Please pardon a little bit of their little dust. I'm getting my websites all redone for a nice big marketing push come February. But yeah, YouTube is the biggest one if you want to subscribe there. And then you can follow some stuff, Axes and O's on Instagram is pretty active as well. And then even some stuff on Facebook, Axes and O's. We appreciate that. I don't have anything on TikTok right now, but that's where a lot of the reviews and stuff are. So yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on and let me put some stuff out.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of TikTok, TikTok Tony.
Yeah, well, for me, you can find me at Tony Has 9 Fingers on YouTube. I haven't done anything on there just because it took forever to edit. I did not edit because I never really edited. My whole shtick was what you see is what you get. So if I messed up, you saw it. So I never edited anything. It just took like an hour for it to upload onto the thing. And then if the internet was bad, it took forever. So YouTube, I have a whole bunch of stuff on there from yesteryear. So you can watch my videos on there, but Tony Has 9 Fingers. Tony Has 9 Fingers on X, which I don't use, but it's still in my shtick. Tony Has 9 Fingers on TikTok, which is my fastest growing social media that I put all my stuff. I show off my movies. I do reviews. I do anything movie related, except now I did a misheard lyrics. I did a couple videos like that, and some of them had been getting a lot of views on it. So I did a couple of those. But TikTok, Tony Has 9 Fingers, Tony's Movies, should I say, on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here on the Wicked Horror Show, most Tuesdays, whether we have awesome guests or it's just horror movie talk, where it's, the latest movies that are coming out or anything like that. Kevin.
And Tony does have 9 fingers. It's confirmed.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, technically he's got
9.5.
Or 9 and
10 there, pretend there, but no way. One's not functional
Yeah.
as it should be.
For myself, just a knuckle on Instagram and doing the show with Tony, and yeah, whatever else comes up.
And remember,
keep
everyone,
busy.
watch us live so you can see the trailer. Like you probably heard the trailer.
Sergio missed the trailer, by the way.
Sergio, bro, what's up, man?
That's
Sergio, dude.
That's
What are
usually
you
what
doing?
happens. It's always halfway through the show, and then he chooses to go.
So
to
you
the
guys-
bathroom halfway.
Minutes. He's just like, I gotta go. I had to pee or something. I don't know.
You guys do this live, but it goes up on YouTube right after, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's going to be on YouTube and it's on Facebook. So
YouTube,
Sergio, you can always
Facebook.
go back, skip ahead 30 minutes, and you'll see it.
Or just listen to my beautiful voice for the first 30 minutes.
There you go. You could do that too. But
And
yeah,
then,
so it's and then the
Thursday,
audio. Yeah, the audio will go up on Thursday.
Okay.
So yeah, but thanks for coming on. Thanks for making such a cool movie, and yeah, go check it out on Screamify. And yeah, that's $3 a month. Can't go wrong.
Do it. Screamify.
You're
Yeah.
helping independent filmmakers,
Yeah.
right? You're helping independent filmmakers.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. Well, thanks again, and have a good night. And thanks for watching / listening, everyone.
Right. Thanks for